So you need money, you want to start a business, you have a great idea? I got some good news for you. The European Union is offering 1.7 billion euros. Not million, that's billion euros of startup funding. Let's talk about it now. Hi, I'm Oliver and welcome back to the channel AskMeStartup, where we talk about startups, small businesses, and the world that surrounds them. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and pushing the notification bell because it really helps this channel to grow. Also, if you're into business, if you have a small business, if you plan to start a business, please feel free to download my free startup checklist, link in the description below. Today's topic, how to get some funding in Europe. 1.7 billion are at display. Let's talk about this here. Now, I need to start with a small disclaimer because this video is not about how to find angel investors or VCs. This video is about how to get a huge set of funding granted by the European Union. No matter whether you are a small startup with an idea or you're already a small company that is aiming or trying to expand into the world market. It's really important to understand that this program is brand new and it is meant for the year 2022 right now and will be renewed every year. Also, the focus, of course, has shifted due to the recent events, and if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, just look at the video up here. And maybe it's a good idea to start there because then you get a better context of what topics are relevant right now. Now, the funding I'm talking about is granted by the European Innovation Council. And I think it's also important to understand it's not the European Invention Council, but the European Innovation Council. And if you're not quite sure what the difference is, I'll link a video up here for you and really recommend that you understand the key difference of those two words. Now, if you are a small startup, if you are a group of researchers, if you come up with a great idea and you need some funding to prove that idea, to do the research, there is a specific grant. And please take a look on the graph right here and you can see that there are 3 different grants or possibilities of grants available in the European Union right now. And if you start, the red one, the EIC Pathfinder will be your choice. The EIC Pathfinder is for any startup in no matter what direction you are that aims to be a high-tech, high-scalable, new innovational product line. This supports you in doing the research in finding out whether your idea actually works in real life or not. As you can also see from the funding number, the total amount that they're going to spend is 350 million euros on research, and it is limited to grants of roughly 4 million euros maximum. That of course depends on your project proposal, etc., etc. Now, this also shows you one thing. They are aware that they need to support early research. They need to support early startup ideas because out of those 100 ideas, let's say, only 10 or maybe 5 will just make it to the next round. Just keep that in mind. The next section will be the EIC Transition. Now, EIC Transition is for those companies of you or those ideas of you that have proven in research that it works, but you need to establish a market fit. And that's also the reason why the total funding in that sector is a little smaller, because there are not so many companies that have that proof of principle, but don't have the proof of market fit yet. You can get grants up to 2.5 million euros for your project in order to establish the market fit of your idea and startup to the needs of the customers. But all of this is peanuts compared to the last sector, which is a funding potential of 1.16 billion, that's a billion with a B, euros for startups and small businesses. Now, everyone can apply here, and you can either get grants or investments of up to 15 million into equity. This is for all of the startups that now plan to expand into the market, that have a proven workable idea, that have a market fit or a potential market fit, and now want to push it through the market. It is really interesting that you can see now that these numbers are huge, and 15 million, to be honest, can get you quite a long way. It's also important to note that they have been quite successful at deploying the money. And there is a list you can look up here that you can see how much money has been spent on what company. That might give you an idea if you have an eligible, similar idea that is worthwhile funding by the European Union. You have to be aware that there are 3 major focuses the European Union is trying to address and where you have the biggest chance to get the funding. So what are these three main areas of interest? Well, that is, of course, green and digital devices that can be integrated into everyday's life and enhance the situation of everybody. It is the systems and power integration of clean energy, because we have to get rid of natural gas. Link a video up here, why? And the development of RNA-based technologies for the development of vaccines and further medication of rare diseases. These are three major topics, and the first two are of political and geopolitical importance, and that's why Europe is putting so much stress on funding these. But are they really funding companies? The good thing is they're actually publicly tracking how many companies they're funding. Currently, they invested into 99 companies in 21 countries of a total value of up to 627 million euros already. Listen, it doesn't matter where you are. And I think that is another very important point. Are there any country restrictions? Because you might say, well, wait a minute, I'm not directly living in the European Union. I might be working in Israel. I might be working in Switzerland. I might be working in Norway. Very good countries, all of them. None of them is part of the European Union. The good news, there is a clear link on the companies that they have invested since the year 2019. And you can see it doesn't matter where you are. You can have your company in any of the European Union states, but also in Norway. You receive funding in Norway, in Switzerland, in Israel, which isn't even part of Europe. Hence, if you got an innovative idea, I really recommend you put down the work, you grind through the necessary application forms and apply for the funding. Because this is one of the most transparent ways to get funding. If you're into VCs and angel investments, sometimes things are totally intransparent. And most of the times, they are also depending on your personal connections. All right, everybody. Keep in mind that this funding will repeat each year, over and over again until the year 2029, most likely. Hence, if you don't make it this year, you can apply for it next year. But it is the most transparent way to get into proper funding if you have a good project. All right, everybody, I hope this short video was helpful to you. If so, please leave a comment down below. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for watching this content. If you made it so far in the video, please subscribe and push the notification bell, because it really, really helps this channel to grow. I'm going to make further videos on relevant industries, especially on the top 3 picks of the European Union, so you get a better idea of what these projects are, what they're proposing, what they're doing, and so you can build up a similar or better project yourself. Thank you for your attention, and I'm going to see you next time.